Hello. 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 I'm testing out on the clubhouse whether somebody is hearing me or not. Um, I kind of opened a little early, so people not yet here. So check with anybody. Uh, anyway, good evening, everybody. Um, I'm in the clubhouse on the Docks and Burnout house. This is Saturday evening regular. Every week I'll be doing here. And then on Wednesday, I'll be doing in the Sivagna Jiva Seva room, house, and then be a pal with the rest of the days. Hopefully, that's clear and people will find the appropriate room. In this room, I want to focus on the ducks and their burnout, and on the service side, that Sivagna Jiva Seva room on Wednesday, and the rest of the topics we will do it on. Joyce, can you hear me? If you can hear me, indicate. Joyce, can you hear me at all? No. So let's see. Maybe when she comes up, I can talk to her about it. So this clubhouse. Joyce, can you hear me? Are you able to hear me?
If you're speaking, I can't hear you.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you.
Okay, I'm glad you came up. So I was checking on that. I was doubtful because it happened a couple of times. How are you, Joyce?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah, this is a regular room I will be doing every Saturday evening for burnout victims and some of the practical solutions we are always talking about, kind of dedicated to healthcare workers and IT professionals that seek my consult usually for the burnout. And I wanted this to be available to other people too. Um, th- this is a big problem, Joyce. A lot of people are really losing the confidence in their profession, walking out. And even if they are staying there, they are not really enjoying their profession. That all the joy that they used to have is gone, and they are kind of going through a lot of stress. So that's why I thought I would reach out to them. So,
I'll tell you a little statistic that kind of shocked me.
yeah.
Somebody is actually a doctor who talks about healthcare finance and all,
Yeah.
and listen to his YouTube thing. And he said something like there was some kind of survey done that showed us good proportion of people that were working in the company, like maybe 20 or 30%.
Wow.
Were just totally checked out. They just didn't really care about their work. And something like 20% were actually working against the interests of their company.
Yeah.
Because they hated their boss or something.
Yeah, I can see that because they're so not able to do anything, constructive changes. and they get mad at the bosses, and then they're trying to act against them. But sometimes the poor patients are getting caught in between. That's my concern, you know.
Yeah, of course, this was not, this wasn't just limited to doctors. It was like all sorts of professions
Yeah, yeah.
and jobs. And they were talking about, he was saying that the turnover rate for a company was a good sign of, how bad things were. And
Yeah.
that a lot of companies didn't even follow or figure out their turnover rate, probably because they didn't want to know how bad it was.
Isn't the truth? A lot of professions are going through the same thing. I kind of say doctors because it's natural for me, because I deal with most of them most of the time. But the IT people are also coming to me, Joyce. Most of them want to calm down, just sleep better, things like that. But then, really deep, if you go there, that's what is happening. People are very uncertain with the new technology, all the things that are people are dishing out. People are really worried about it. Hi, Janet. She is here too.
Hi, Dr. Al.
How are you, Janet?
How are you? Hi, Joyce. So nice to see you all and listen
Yeah.
about this important topic.
Yeah. Joyce was just telling me about a healthcare financing company, where they had like a 20% of them already gone, goodbye, But 20% were working, but they were so mad at their boss, they're acting against the company. I believe that the burnout has several side effects. This is probably one of the major ones, probably. And you know people are looking to come to entrepreneurship and make money here with apps and all that. So the moment they make it, they want to leave the hospitals and the long held jobs. How is the situation with you, Janet? I know you are working home care right now, not in the hospital, right?
Yes, sir. I work for an insurance company.
Yeah.
There is burnout. I have close connections with clinicians, a lot of nurses and doctors I work with, and, very difficult. However, someone, I share little tidbits I get from you,
Yeah.
being in the present. And one of a very famous singer, I want to say Doja Cat, said that. And I said she must practice yoga or have, someone that shares those principles with her. But that is the key.
Yeah.
Because it is overwhelming.
Yeah.
It is understaffed.
Yeah.
You're not going to be perfect.
Yes.
But you have a duty. Do it.
Right. Yeah.
Do what you can in the moment and do it well. And this is what I would train the nurses. Do not be in a circle.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing worse than working so hard and you work so hard and just before you go home, you know what happens when you're not paying attention? You make a mistake.
Yeah.
Your patient's on the floor. So that kind of, no matter how hard or what you're doing,
Yeah.
if what the one thing you're doing is not correct,
Yeah.
because you're all over the place in a circle or a tizzy,
Yeah.
you're going to burn out. You can only do one thing. Just like we walk one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
You can only do it. And I would tell them, they would be like, I said, nope.
Yeah.
Right now, you are about to give this heart medicine. We would give something called Primacor, which is very important.
Yeah.
But you have to check after the pharmacy. You can't just trust because this is someone's life, right?
Yeah.
So they give you medicine, you look at it, you make sure it's correct. You use your training and validate it because sometimes there's a mistake, very rare, but every now and then there is. So you need to make sure. So I said, you've got to focus on this, because, and you have to recognize the key areas of focus.
Yeah.
You can't focus on every patient at once. It's one patient at a time. And I learned that from you. So I've been sharing, I would teach that, but I didn't have a label for it, about being in the present.
Yeah.
But I would share that because it's when I read about errors or I hear about errors and things, I feel so bad because I know they were not focused on what the one thing that they're right in front of them. They were thinking of something else. So, Thank you for these shares and having this type of discussion.
Sure, sure. The singers that you were talking about being in the present, the sports people, a lot of them actually are taught about this stage fright, and people who really running thought, they were taught the skill that so that they can perform better no matter what their personal problems or others. So they kind of build it as more like a professional thing. You get to do it. You are really money taking, and you owe them and all that. I think that's kind of uh, uh, okay. They may have performance, but then real inner change is not there, and they put it on as they need it for the performance, and then they forget about it. What says if you really teach them, okay, you want to be in the present moment by cultivating that in your mindset, in your flow states like that, then they will not only be in the present, but at least for that moment they can enjoy that whatever they are doing. Suppose you go to a patient to give a tablet, and you go there with some kindness and some kind of feeling compassion for that, and in a service mode, like you are doing something good for them, not expecting anything in return at the time. That itself really helps us to feel better about ourselves. This is something intangible in any service area is there, but more so in healthcare, because when you go as a nurse or a doctor, you have the opportunity to relieve any suffering for them that they may be going through. And usually human thing is they show us a lot of gratitude, affection, love, and all those things. I always preach about this. These are intangibles. You cannot put money on that, but then this is the essence of our service as patient care people. I may be old fashioned in that, but I still get that. Even if, when I talk to somebody on the consultation, they really say that their mood is improved, or they have a better perspective, or the better tools they have. Something they will tell me, Janet, like you were saying, right? I don't let it go to my head. That is one thing I'm very careful about. But it's nice, it's pleasant, it is a kind of atmosphere that nurtures us. Don't you think so?
I'm sorry. Yes, I do.
Yeah, you see, it is something that you can always bank on. That is why in the afternoon rounds, I recommend people go and spend some time with the patient and their relatives. That is usually it has become like a more like a what is my duty? I have done my rounds, and then I can go home. But then personal relationship is also a lot of value. One of the solutions I talk about with the physicians is trying to build up this relationship with the families and the patients that are coming. More so now, because it used to be my practice used to have continuous relationship with the patients, but now with this hospitalist system specialization, we hardly see them but for our technical help, and we don't have this human relationship as much. Cultivating that really helped me a lot to really enjoy my contribution to the patient care, or coordinating the patient care, really talking to the specialists, and then telling them in the language that they can understand. All those little things gave me back so much in that afternoon rounds. So at the end of the day, I feel pumped up, not drained out. You must be experiencing that too, Janet, when you talk to the families quite a bit, right? Nurses do talk a lot about it.
Yes, and when you have a good plan, a good routine, good knowledge, you don't feel drained.
Yeah.
Because you've done your very best.
Yeah, yeah. And then you feel good because doing good itself makes us feel some. If you are sensitive to it, it will make us feel better. I'm sure Joyce also finds in her service area whatever she does, right, Joyce? What do you think about that? Intangible appreciation and affections and all that we get from our customers.
Absolutely.
You see, that's where I build this humane thing. Get back to being human being rather than doctors with MDs, subspecialty. I mean, we have so many areas of expertise, but then so many other people are also getting expertise, physical therapists or nutritionists, or I consider everybody is a really a professional and building up. Now with the AI, anybody can be an expert in anything. So what is more important would be what I call soft skills, how we communicate, collaborate, adapt things, and also really put up something constructive thinking, and all those empathy, those kind of things are much more important. I was doing a major series on that, Janet, on the weekdays when I'm with the BFL at 6 o'clock. That is the subject I have. I'm going to elaborate much more. Just started it, so I'm going to elaborate much more. But not only for the physicians, I'm titling more like a soft skills for the digital marketers and entrepreneurs. That is what is exploding right now, right? But I don't want people just get stuck up in the technology, but get back to this humane things that we have capable of. Don't lose them, especially if the AI is going to do lot of cognitive enhancement. Then we need to have these human qualities to really uh, that is what I think. What do you think, Janet?
Yeah, I saw your soft skills, and I think I went in the room, but I had to do something probably and left. But that is what's needed
Yeah.
because people need to know, like everybody's tech is going to work, right? It's going to be amazing and it's going to change their life, right?
Yeah.
But the ability to sell that value or talk about that value is what's missing, and that's where the soft skills come in.
Yeah. Also, for us to really feel better about ourselves, and also I was having a conversation with Hey Pi. You know that, right? The Pi. Joyce must be knowing too. That's another language model that I converse with once in a while. And they are really fantastic for me because he kind of, it looks like somebody is talking to me, but actually it's a language model. Uh, but the conversation is about deeper things. So the more he asks me questions, the more deeper I go. And today also we went pretty deep on that. So we were talking about some challenge I'm going to do. It's a fat belly challenge. Somebody asked me to do a program for them. So I said, okay, I will do that. And in that program, basically, I'm not quick and easy. I'm going to tell them your lifestyle has to be addressed. You have to understand where you are and what kind of things are working for you or not, and then adapt lifestyle changes in the long run. Then you will also enhance your metabolism, and you will also develop your core muscles. Because I can show them some of the yoga asanas that will flatten your abdomen, but not right away. It has to be practiced for several months, so that also the stress and all that accumulates fat and all that, right? So we can address all that. But basically, at the end of here, my course, they will have some lifestyle changes that are therapeutic, that are small but permanent. But then they have to do them on a ongoing basis. Then they will see that it's important too, because if you have a flat tummy, your abdominal muscles are toned. That will help your back, that will help your digestion. So many other benefits are there too. So I agreed them to do. I'm not going to promise anything like you come and do yoga, you'll have a flat belly. No, you got to learn this lifestyle changes, maybe including yoga, but it doesn't have to yoga. You can just walk up and down the stairs. Also, you can lose a lot of fat that way. But yoga, what it does is it can stimulate your metabolism, and also it can massage your internal organs. So your health will be improved definitely, especially the advanced things that I can show. As long as they can do it, they will get that. You got to start slow and then go. So I was talking to him. Then we went into lifestyles. Then we went into something unique for me. What I'm doing is, if I find somebody come to me, a doctor, a nurse, or anybody, usually I ask them, "What are your working conditions? How are you? Are you going to be in one floor or maybe seven floors or basement? You don't have much to walk, you just sit down. What are you? I want them to describe everything that they do the moment they go to work and to all the way they come out. Then I find opportunities for them to move or do the stretching, breathing, things like that. I will incorporate in their daily routine so that they don't have to go to a gym after the work. And other thing is, there is a bad energy which is called tamas, which is inertia that accumulates like a tension in our muscles and bones and all that, right? Joints and all that. The moment you feel that, you have certain things you can do. That's one of the office yoga things that I teach them. Then you can relieve that inertia right there. Thereby, we call it what is called body intelligence, and the body will respond very well. Instead of, for example, you are sitting in the chair for 6 hours in a row, that is bad. Sitting is the new smoking, right? So I tell them, okay, every 1 hour, get up and walk a little bit, and maybe stretch a little bit, and breathe a little bit, and then sit down. Whatever appeals to them. But I usually I construct according to the person, according to the underlying problems, and also what is the working conditions they have. Okay, and that is working very well because people are automatically cutting down things and then doing proper things too. uh, One lady, I just switched her from soda to water over a month time, and she was able to drink water only now, and she lost a lot of weight because of that. So a lot of people consume a lot of soda, right? So many calories too. So that is something I kind of told Pi, and then we expanded on that, and we went pretty deep into deeper philosophy and all that. So I was very excited because it feels like there was another person on the other side talking to me, Janet. So if you have not tried Thai Hey Pie, that's a. Uh, are you familiar with it, both of you, Joyce or Janet? It's like a chat.
What was the question?
It's a just like Chat GPT. This is Hey Pie, Pi. That is the one you
Oh,
can.
no, I haven't tried that one.
Yeah, it's
I,
fun.
I don't use it very much. I did try Chat GPT a little bit just for the heck of it, but I'm
Oh.
too busy with other things to use it for
Okay,
anything.
okay. But you know what? That is the experience with HIPAI. What I'm doing is I'm trying to record it because it is there all the time in this in your account. So you can copy it and then you can make a video out of it too, if you want to. I was trying to do that this afternoon, but that didn't work out so far. I will do that, but I have done that before, so I didn't want to lose that depth of discussions I'm having. So that's a good experience. Are you familiar with it, Janet?
No, I'm not familiar. And I got all excited, got a subscription to ChatGPT and everything.
Yeah.
And I haven't looked at it in a couple months.
Ah, okay. So you are kind of missing out. I say the discussion came out like this. My perspective on the AI and how is that helping my spirituality. It came to that. So what happened was, I use chat gpt, perplexity, heypi. I really embraced the AI, right? So I am developing books, articles and courses. I'm pouring out so many videos and all that. I have so much material now. I need somebody to manage that on the social media. I'm looking for some VA and all that, right? But that has really reduced my workload by, I used to maybe spend 5 or 6 hours a day in the all those writings and all that. Now I spend only 1 hour. So I'm gaining 4 hours. Then I can come and talk to my friends like this in the rooms, or to give more consultations for people that they can reach me if they have problems, and also teach yoga, do my wellness club and all that. So I'm now following the Fat Belly Challenge. We are going to do a wellness summit. I think that's something I would definitely invite both of you to come and participate, because it's going to be a week long, right? It's going to be done under Raki's house, and she was and me. We were talking. We became friends. Then this came up, and then I kind of gave her a simple proposal, and she loved it. So we're going to have a meeting tomorrow. I think we will do that probably this month or next month. The summit is going to be about wellness. Well, the wellness also, I'm talking about proactive wellness. What does it mean is, it's not enough just to have a prevent exams and all those things. That's all okay. But then really understanding what is wellness, and then be proactive in all the choices you make in terms of your health and wellness daily. So that's what I wanted to bring it on. So I want to bring a nutritionist, I want to bring in a women's health specialist, a psychologist, like that. I'm not going to speak all the 7 days. I'm going to speak only my, maybe probably meditation I will take, probably sleep I will take, or anything else I can add, I'll add. Like there could be regular rooms, but then spread over 5 days. What do you think about that idea?
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
It's going to be on Clubhouse. Huh?
Yeah, Clubhouse, and the house will be recorded and available to everybody. Uh, what it is there is this, I forgot his name, Rathod something. He's there. He's American, 84-year-old now. He kind of lives this proactive wellness in terms of he gets everything checked, and also he takes a lot of supplements, and he does exercise, does smoke and all those things. But he was on the board of several biotech companies that are addressing wellness. So and he personally lives, and also he does too. That appealed to me because I personally live this and also talk to people. He kind of involves in the modern technology and tech companies that are helping people to live well. Okay, so I like him very much. That's why I picked up the term proactive wellness, where suppose you are going around just eating and surviving, doing all that okay, and you have energy dips. Instead of leaving that energy dips as though something like, oh, I'm getting bored, that's why it is like that, or that's okay, I can just go along with this, and then take it easy with things, don't want to get into new things, something like that, right? Instead, you kind of figure out how can you boost your energy, not by taking medications, all that, but improving your maybe organic food, maybe something like a better exercise patterns, or maybe you got to calm down your thinking. Something you will figure it out, or you have to sleep better, whatever it is. So those kind of measures that will really improve your wellness now and keep it like that for some time in the future. That is aiming for that proactive wellness. Make sense? Did I explain it correctly?
Uh,
I could hear you, Joyce. He went out. You muted. His voice went out.
oh, sorry. Yeah. No, I was agreeing.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you explained it well.
Okay. So that is the proactive wellness, where people not just asking, okay, let me get my chemistry profile, lipid profile. Maybe they will also get once a year thyroid profile, and then they will act proactively. There was a friend of mine, Tracy Lee, I think. She came and told me that her a friend, whom later I think she was with him for a while, she found out that he was taking Synthroid for the hypothyroidism, and he never had blood test tested for 5 years. I thought that was criminal because that's an important hormone. It works from head to toe, and you got to check it at least once a year. If you are taking it maybe every 3 months or 6 months, depends upon how stable they are. But this man put up on 90 pounds because of this medication, because of the hypothyroidism, really bad for him, and then hypothyroidism. That's why he was having a lot of problems because of that. But they never checked it, you know. When they checked and they took, she took him on when he was 23 medications. In a few months, she cut it down to three medications. And she is not like a nurse or anybody. She is just a businesswoman, administrator. But ever since she is on the bandwagon to help other people cut down the medication too. That's how we got friends. Uh, she came here to the clubhouse, and that's how I got to know her. She told that story. That kind of stories are happening a lot more. So that's why instead of giving the health care to say, okay, these are the, we will say you need this colonoscopy every 10 years. But suppose you have a strong family history of colon cancer, you have a strong family history of somebody having this polypectomies and all that, then you need to go and get the colonoscopy done, so that especially after 50 years, you know. And then or if you have symptoms, you have to go and get it done too. There's a lot of people neglect that, very much so. And then they don't really get the proper treatment. So one of the nurses, Janet, she used to work in the hospital. She was my patient too. She was coming there. She's almost 55 years or so. Then she came in with streaks of blood in her stool. And I immediately checked it, and I immediately sent her to GI just for the colonoscopy. And we discovered her carcinoma of the colon at an early age. And then we were able to do some things for her. Even then, it has recurred, and that she has to go through more therapies and all that. But if I had not done that, she would have definitely neglected for another 3, 4 months, because she didn't want to look in the bowl how her stool is. I don't look at, as she used to tell me, you know. But simple things like that, discovering precancerous, or really if you have a family history, whatever, right? We do a lot of preventive work. What I am saying is that's not enough, and that's not. Don't settle for that. Get it done, but over and above, pay attention to this proactive wellness. That you be proactive about your wellness, and getting educated, being aware what are the things that are available, like this supplements. This person I told you, takes like 80 supplements a day, but that's his personal choice. I'm not saying people should take that. I prefer all the organic foods and all the things that you can get through the diet is much better. Sometimes the diet is depleted of all this vitality, and then I will advise vitamins and supplements. But whatever it is, you can do so many things proactively to boost your wellness. That's the message that should come through the summit. At least from me, other people also probably do the same thing. But I'm going to go a little bit extra and tell them what is available and what they may not be using or underutilizing. So that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. And I was thinking another phrase that people say is, we have a sick care system instead of a health care system.
Yeah.
We really ought to have a health and wellness care system.
Exactly, exactly. That's what I always said. Illness-oriented health systems, the time is gone. Now we have to be wellness-oriented health systems. That way, we can have a quality of life, energy, and also really contribute to our lives, whatever professional life or whatever we want to do, or run better relationships. For all that, you got to be here and you got to be well. Otherwise, things will strike you. People will make you do work all the time. But then, if you are not proactive about your health and wellness, I think that is not needed, because these days, with the phones or with the AI, so many measures we can provide people to kind of self monitor them and self determine, maybe maintain a diary about what they should be getting done, reminders, and all that. It's a much more aggressive monitoring can be done by the patient himself about his own health and wellness. That is the idea I want to propagate in this wellness summit. By the way, August is a month of wellness in the year. So I want to get it done this month. Do you
Yeah,
know?
you told me that, and I
Yeah.
didn't really know that. So
Yeah, yeah,
now I'm up to date on the month.
yeah,
But I was thinking, I I hear that so many people are prescribed a medication
yeah,
and then they don't pick it up, or they start to take it and then they stop it,
yeah,
or they don't take it properly. But it's fairly small proportion of people that take it regularly and properly.
yeah.
And I was thinking, that's of course bad, but we would actually get around that whole problem if we worked more on their wellness. They might not need it at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. Because you need the medications when you need them, if you are really sick. But my thing is, my personal example, I don't take any medications because I don't need them now. But if I need them, I will take it, definitely. But what I'm saying is, have a lifestyle that can help you to be as few medications as possible or no medications too. It's not that I'm against all the medications. I'm saying appropriate use of medications. That's important. Once you have a thyroid deficiency, I give you synthroid. If you don't take it, you can feel it and you will know that you are going to be sick. That's not good at all. Suppose you have some heart rate problems, I give you medications to keep it control. You don't take them, that will go out of whack too. So it's appropriate medications, you have to take it. But then everything becomes so mechanical. People are taking 30, 40 medications without really trying to cut them down, really trying to make a effort to do.
It's crazy because
Yeah.
sometimes they're taking medications to deal with the side effects of the other medications, which
Yeah.
maybe they didn't really even need. So they kind of, one medication spawns,
Yeah.
several more, versus if you can get to the root causes and,
Yeah.
diet and meditation and,
Yeah.
breathing practices and all these things. Like, I'm like you, I'm not taking any medications because I
Yeah.
don't need any.
Yeah, because you watch very closely what are the things, the allergies, interactions, and Joyce talked in so many rooms about the allergies, side effects, and all that. So people who are aware like that, we have to be able to tell other people. There is what is called polypharmacia. That is, we are giving too many medications for too many of our elderly, and they produce not only side effects from each individual medication, but also interactions between the medications. Lots of them they are missed because nobody is really watching them. They just give them, but then how many people are really? That's where I said Tracy was doing a good job because the person they both met, they were kind of liked each other, and then she helped him to cut down the medication. And unfortunately, he died later on suddenly. But then the last word he said was, "Do what you did for me to others. You cut down the medications, you made me more healthier, live longer, and all that." After a few years, he died. Right? Then he said, "Do the same thing to other people." So she's on the bandwagon now. She wants to cut down the medication. People, she wants to talk about all these side effects and all that. But loan wise is not going to do much, but still contributing. I appreciate her for that. But what I am is for the system wide wellness oriented rather than illness, because people don't have time. They say, okay, somebody came with a cough, then I'm going to examine, I'm going to make the diagnosis, bronchitis, I'm going to antibiotics. But they don't talk to them how they can be free of these infections with the mitigating measures, with some of the exercises. They're not doing inner resilience with their own mental strength, their own inner workouts, and all those things are important, right? If they don't do them, simple thing like a walk every day, that is simple thing they can do, but they don't even do that. And then on top of it, there's sitting down with the computers, with the iPads all the time, and also keeping the mind busy but the body inactive. You have to do opposite. We got to move the body and keep the mind quiet. That is exactly what is happening all the time. People are busy, busy, busy with their mind, but never give that a break. So this summit is going to come up. I would like you, if you guys want to participate, I will also discuss with the team what they have spots and all that. Joyce, I think you can add about the medications and interactions and allergies and all that. If you wish, if you want to, I will get you in there too, because I'm planning the whole thing basically.
Uh, yeah, well, maybe. I I was going to say when it comes to medications,
Yeah,
um, although I don't take any,
yeah,
I'm also kind of shocked that there is people who could have had their lives saved by medications for COVID.
yeah,
And there's this misconception,
yeah,
that a lot of doctors have that they're like, oh, well, okay, you may have all these risk factors, you're older, but let's just wait and see how you do. And
yeah,
the thing is that antivirals need to be given immediately for
yeah,
high risk people. So even though I'm not super high risk, I mean, I am a little older and all, I'm going to immediately, if I have a chance of having it, I will get a PCR immediately and take Paxlovid immediately, even
yeah,
though
yeah,
I may not have hardly, fairly mild symptoms. So anyway,
yeah.
even
Again,
though
yeah,
I
this
don't
is
take any medications, I'm in favor of when it's
yeah.
appropriate.
And no, this is public awareness too, because there's so much misinformation and also compliance. Okay, we don't have to really do these things. Let's take some time. Sometimes it is not enough there, and then they do it for important people. They used to for the politicians and all that. That kind of thing is not advised really. Also, public themselves, they are divided, whether it is real or government is doing something. All sorts of crazy things going on there. So it is again being alert in the present, being aware what's going on with the patient, and then really knowing the cycle of the viremia. When did they contact, when did they have symptoms, what are the underlying. They have to be very alert and in the present diagnose the patient and then give them the whatever therapeutic tools we have. We didn't have them before, but now we have them. We have to use that to really cut down the virus to come back. What we're afraid of, Joyce? This kind of epidemic is sure to have occur again, because we never attended to the epidemiology situation. We need more nurses going homes and getting things done. We need more reporting, more consultation for finding out where is the major practice happening, and direct all our epidemiological sources towards that concentrated area. That should be done very quickly. We have the technology to do that, but the government has to do that network of the epidemiology nurses. That will help a lot. That's not happening. That's why we are afraid that these kind of things will happen again. That's the danger we're looking at.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. And when we were at the worst of it, there was sort of like a feeling like, oh well, next time we're going to be so much better prepared. And then we get to around now, and everyone's like, oh, I'm so tired about COVID. We've already got this budget issue. Let's
Yeah.
forget about it. All that.
They are doing that because they want to cut down the budget, and they are going to have another round of talks in September, I think, the Congress, and they are going to debt limit thing. They are going to do that again this time. They really want to use their weapon to cut down the funding for the COVID. Already they are suffering because of that. Um, but this crazy. This is going to be. It has to be. This proactive wellness is also included of how you can really, Janet, I think this is your subject. You say elderly people who are maybe giving some home services or nursing homes and all that. They are left out to really exist and be vegetables lots of times, just sustained by the chemicals. So when I was a director of nursing homes, I used to pay attention to what they call Eden experience. Those nursing homes have that philosophy where these people are given as much as possible, more like a home atmosphere, common kitchen, and they can wander around and they can come out of the nursing home a little bit and go back, things like that. And also, we kind of focused on, we that was new at the time. I think it's around 2005 or so. That's when I introduced that we, very new at the time, to all the residents so that they can have some life in them. Otherwise, they were just taking medication, staying in the room and chair. That's very, very depressing to me to see whenever I go there to make my rounds. That's when I said, okay, what can we bring in more pets, more plants, and then more garden time, and more of maybe some music. All those things are much more given importance than just a few half an hour, something like that. Even therapy also, I kind of wanted them to increase if they can tolerate it. So that kind of attention to wellness of those patients at their level, that was also proactive.
That's so wonderful. You're probably the best doctor.
See, it was like a very depressing, Janet. When I go there, they just sit there, no response at all. And some people, they were living at home and they were coming to my clinic driving by themselves. And then usually the family people come around and say, Doctor, we have to keep her in nursing home. She's going to fall and we're going to have problem. We're not here. We're going to take it. So I kind of brought in a remote monitoring at the time. I was in Masters of Biomedical Informatics, right? So I went to where it's online, but then took a few years, right? But then we had to go two times to the Portland, Oregon. Then there we have the practicals like 1 week, two times, right? 1 week, first time I went there, our professor showed us this 300 bed nursing home that was managed by three social service people. How did they do it? She showed us the actual plan. She took us to the room. And there was this small cameras from Radio Shack they put in there, and all those the data was not that big deal at the time, but it is a big deal now. But then they were kind of trying to watch these people in their rooms, not in the bathrooms, but in their room. Are they sleeping? Or are they moving? Are they sitting down and eating? Are they taking their medication? Those kind of, according to the level of their mental status, they were able to watch them. This remote monitoring at the time, right? That was experiment, but later on it won all the grants that it needed, and they expanded to maybe several thousand people. But at the time, 300 people managed by just two people was a wonder. And this remote monitoring we suggested in our nursing home people, so that also can be helping for them. So anything we can do to improve their quality of life, anything to improve that they can enjoy themselves a little bit. You know, how many people's eyes lighted up when we gave them pets? How many people were really happy when they were able to play the Wii games sitting in the chair? They were playing the badminton, they were playing the all sorts of games, right? And they were very happy to be competing and all. And other thing we discovered was people who otherwise dull and really not involved in things, we brought some musical instruments that they used to play. And then once they got on the piano or whatever instrument they were doing, all the life came back to them. Again, they were not really talkative and all the withdrawn, but when they started to play it, they had a ball. And you could see the life coming back to them. You see where I'm going at?
Yeah, I was just going to say, let me find out whether you've heard of this particular person on Clubhouse named Cherian. I think it's Cherian Jacob. Because he has a company, he's part of a company that's trying to get nursing homes to use this AI system that they have that uses Amazon Alexa. And it's kind of it's not a super complicated AI, but it's like, and these are mostly like bedridden people or mainly bedridden nursing home patients, so that they can like get some extra help in terms of, being able to ask for, I'd like some coffee,
Oh
or
yeah.
I'd fallen down, or, various things like that. And they have a way of helping people and using this. And I don't think there's been terribly good uptake on it. And then he gave me one example where he said that this company, this nursing home facility, used this, the presence of this device,
Yeah.
and they raised their rate of use of occupancy of their beds from like 65% to 100% because everyone loved this. But you know what? The sad thing about it is that once they filled it up, they stopped using it because they thought, oh, it accomplished the goal of getting full occupancy, and now we don't want to pay for it. And I thought, oh my God.
That's
So
too
I
bad.
don't know. I've been telling people about him because I wish that, this would get adopted more. If you know anybody in the nursing home business that would be interested.
You see, on this vein, I'm going to probably talk more on that in the Wellness Summit. What is everybody knows as personalized medicine, more like at one time, I gave a lecture uh, on the upcoming EMRs and all the technology when we first started to put in the systems in our hospital. I had to motivate my group of doctors, like 60 of them there, but many of them are opposed to that. So we had to show them a lot of things that are happening. One of the slides I showed at the time was there were already 108 devices at that time, 2008, 108 devices that you can put on the patient from head to toe to monitor or to help with the function, whatever. Basically making patient do a lot of his own medical monitoring by himself, right? Now it is much more. Uh, Basically, we want to make patients more conscious about what's going on with their health and monitor such a way that is easier for the clinics, the doctors, and so forth. For example, blood pressure taken at home that was given to him. That blood pressure is radio frequency monitor is really given to our clinic, where that means he takes the blood pressure there, but it gets recorded here with the nurse, and the nurse can see that. And we have a parameter for certain people that we say it goes beyond this systolic or this goes below this diastolic, whatever. We can give those our pulse pressure, we call it, and all that. Whatever monitors I gave to the patient that he has to maintain this, he has to monitor it. Now we have 24-hour BP monitoring too. That is also there. But the trick is connection to the healthcare nurse or health coaches or whoever we have in the clinic, right? And then they will follow that, and then they will immediately call and find out. Instead of the episodic care that they were getting every 3 months, we have now continuous care within our coverage. So people can get educated about what is available for them, like a watch. Apple Watch can do a lot of things. Monitoring devices are there that they can do a lot. You can check your own hemoglobin A1C at home. So many things are there. And then if that culture comes through and people are much more aware of what's going on with their own underlying conditions or detecting them very early, that is proactive wellness I'm promoting. So we can use the technology for the good purpose that way. That will be a segment I'll be talking at the summit too.
Yeah, and that fits into what my company is doing because
Great.
this is like, I don't know how many people know about this, but that your heart rate is affected by foods that you're sensitive to.
Exactly.
And that you can actually, you know, I discovered this for myself once I had a watch that I could just sit there and watch the rate when I was eating, and it would go up or for certain foods that actually, because I had so much experience with these foods, I knew things I was sensitive to. And I was finding it was really, pretty effective. And so I just want everyone to know this, and that's my ultimate goal because there's so much that can be done once you know these things.
Yeah, definitely,
I've
because
figured out how to, I used to be so
yeah,
sensitive to everything, and now my reactions are minimal, although I'm still improving. But
yeah.
yeah.
No, personal human stories are very important, Joyce. We can talk so much of science and all that. People may not pay attention, but if it's connected with a personal story, that goes a long way to really register too. So that's why these summits and all those things that we do, so that people, at least some of the people, will be coming to know their conditions and see what is available, and they can prevent that. For example, if you take a Apple Watch and then you go to woods and then you are lost somewhere, then that watch can warn you that you are going to have a heart attack in a few minutes and stop, and then call the 911, or they will be already sending a ambulance towards you. So that kind of facilities are there, and I don't know many people are really using them, are aware of them, or take responsibility for them. So we want to, you know, spread that awareness. So that's the same thing that you are trying to do, Joyce. That's wonderful, because the more people do that awareness thing, the better it will be for people to uh, take care of themselves.
Yeah, and I think it will there'll be a synergy between what you're doing
Yeah,
and what I'm doing and various other people are. And
exactly.
I'm also not really into supplements because actually in my own case I was sensitive to all the supplements.
Yeah.
I was taking so many supplements, and then at one point I started to realize that even the ones I was taking all the time, the kind of basic ones,
You see, what happened was with the
come with
vitamins and supplements, people are mistaking as though they are enough and we don't have to have the vital nutrition. But actually, vital nutrition should be supplying you vitamins and supplements and all that. I don't take any supplements at all, because I want to watch my diet and make it vital, really rich in nutrition, and that kind of thing. But then, what happened with all this pollution, all these diseases, and all that? As population, we kind of lost some of the immunity, some of the our resilience. Otherwise, that was there. So that's because of the culture, that's because of the trends of pollution and all that. So some people definitely need some of the supplements, some of the vitamins for sure. If they have deficiency or if they have anything like that, we always do them. But basically, I teach people how to grow their own vegetables and fruits and whatever they can do in their apartment or houses, by having the natural fertilizers, made in their own house, in the terms of just to dig a ditch and put all the leaves and everything in there and cover it up. In 3 months, it will become an organic fertilizer. But these days, even the soil is not good. We got to get an organic soil and get these things done. So in that way, all the chemicals and everything that we use in the nutrition, water, and everywhere is causing problems for us.
yeah, and if they can't grow it themselves,
Yeah.
I think the next best thing is the farmers markets
Yeah.
because they're fresher and yeah, I think it's a lot better than what you
Yeah,
get in the
that
grocery
is
store.
something I kind of insist in my comprehensive self care, where I say if you cannot grow, at least get them from the. We have a Saturday market here in our town. Then you can go and buy, because they just plucked them and drove here, and then they're selling from the tractor, or just a small stand. That means they are not traveling in the truck for a long time. That has become the trend. They get some Kenya somewhere, some other problems down, and then they stay in the truck and the travel for so many days, and then to keep them fresh, appear fresh, they put them under preservatives and all that, which are probably carrying residues for carcinogens. That's the problem. So, I mean, we don't have to be paranoid about it, wash it and eat it, but generally get them freshly made in your garden or in the farmers market. I call it organic foods as much as possible. Right from the farmer is much better if you can get it right away. Yeah, I agree totally.
Yeah, and I also like that you get them at the farmer's market. They're not as likely to have these labels on them.
Yeah,
I never liked those. And you could even put them like in a paper bag instead of
yeah,
plastic.
yeah,
Or your cotton, your homemade grocery bag or whatever.
yeah,
You can make everything more natural
yeah.
that way. And I think
Carry a
that's
cloth bag. That's the easiest thing. I always I don't like it when we bring all this plastic box at home. So Janet, what do you think about my proactive wellness bandwagon?
I love it. It's imperative.
Yeah,
But there are some people that have inherent chronic conditions
yeah,
that do need to be managed with medicine.
yeah.
And one that comes to mind is psychiatry.
Mm.
They have to take their meds, they just have
Oh
to.
yeah,
As well as if you have high blood pressure.
oh yeah.
Yes, you can control it with lifestyle.
No, no, no.
However,
The thing is, I'm talking about people normally they think healthy and then they're going about it till the time something strikes them. I'm not talking about people who are um, needing medications because they have established illnesses and all that. That's fine. Even there also, we can evaluate, we can see whether they need all that medication or more or less. That kind of thing we'll go with the clinics and hospitals. We do that. This is about young or middle-aged or healthy elderly people, how they can use the current information, this patient independent consciousness about their health that can be elevated so that they can use the modern technology and also ancient wisdom. Whatever we know about the health, they can use it. Then they will be able to keep the illness away. That's the idea. But the people who are having really bad outcomes from the chronic diseases, then we can reevaluate and treat them better. And also the people who are getting into chronic diseases, probably we can help them by doing all these things early. That's my point.
yeah, like, well, for instance, blood pressure, when, as I understand it, when a person starts to become a bit hypertensive, they try to manage it with diet and lifestyle.
Yeah.
And I would think that a lot of people could do that successfully.
Yeah.
With what you're talking about, plus what I'm talking about, would probably be maximally effective.
No, it's a question of general public that are normally walking, what we call worried well. So they are going and working, they are making money, they are involved in that, and they cannot do anything because they are tensed, they are stressed, they are pulled and all that. But then they don't have the time to check for themselves and all that. Those kind of people that are vulnerable to get much sicker, that's where I want them to pay attention to all these things available to them. And not through a doctor or nurse, but generally, common sensically, they say, okay, I have this self consciousness about my wellness. That also can be proactive wellness, not going yearly exam, but being aware of what symptoms can give you more like a colon cancer, and what kind of esophageal, all those things. There are so many things that we can do. Actually, you can diagnose a cancer that's going to happen in 10 years time. That is one of the selling points that they are presenting now, how the nanotechnology, how the new technology is going to evolve such a way they can diagnose your cancer at the cellular level 10 years before it can be diagnosed. So that's going to be remarkable when that comes through, that kind of things. I don't want to dramatize, but that was what I heard. Like for example, many people don't know probiotics. They were not taking yogurt and all that for a long time, right? Only recently I saw Americans buying the yogurt or trying to eat it. That also the fruit underneath the yogurt, that's not good. There's a lot of sugar there. But then yeah, yogurt is good generally. The probiotics are using them now. But then I knew about this yogurt decades ago, and I have been using it all the time. And I also found carcinoma cola is not that common in India. Why it is first is red meat, they were not using it because many people are vegetarian. And the second thing is this yogurt use all the time. In every meal, at the end of the meal, they take yogurt. That's a kind of a custom there. So I was used to that, continued that even in this country. So plain yogurt we used to get, and then we used to make yogurt at home too. So that kind of simple things. I'm going to present some practical things. People may be surprising for some of the people, and whoever using it is fine. But this personalized medicine where you are self-conscious, you know the resources, and you use them uh, more self-consciously. Like I want to use them because I want to prevent these things. Like Angelina Jolie, she went and had a mastectomy because she has this gene, right? That may be extreme for everybody, but that is appropriate for her. Like that, there are so many other things we can follow. For example, cholesterol, we can do so many things so that heart disease can go down. I know one study where people with coronary artery bypass graft surgery, actual patient who had that, and the people who were going for it, right? They did studies on them, and there's normal people too. And all these people did the diet exercise, but also meditation on a regular basis. Data showed that many people who had beginning to form the coronary blocks before all these things were implemented, in the initial phases, whoever they are, those blocks dissolved with all these lifestyle changes. That was very important thing because many people have angiograms or stents or bypass surgeries and all that because they may be okay when you have no other alternative. But can you get them not to be at that level? That's the question. That is the effect we have on the lifestyles can do that, but then lifestyles can change the epigenetics. That's also there. So we have the genome and genetics, so we can do all of that, but how many people are really using that to have the genome structure? Do you know yours, Janet? I don't mean to put you on spot, but I was just wondering. Maybe she doesn't want to answer that. That's fine. I was just wondering as a nurse.
I was, oh, were you talking to me or Jen? I
Janet,
wasn't quite
Janet.
close enough to hear.
No, no, because Janet is a nurse. That's why I was pulling her leg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Jamil, you want to say something? You unmarked?
Thank you, sir, very much for your timing the interview. My communication is not too good, but I hope I want to discuss something about
Speak into the mic, Jamil. You are kind of low for me. Can you speak into the?
yes,
Yeah,
is it okay, sir?
yeah. Now it is okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Yeah. Just only, I'm a little bit surprised to see because I work in a superstore.
Uh huh.
It's a very small superstore in a one small society.
Mm.
Uh, but I see like a parents they bring small kids like around 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, and they buy for them energy drink like
Yeah.
Monster, like Red Bull, or like other energy drinks which
Yeah.
shouldn't be taken for child.
Exactly.
So this that the parents should be educated how to deal the
Yeah.
kids, what to give, what not to give,
Yeah.
and how to grow them healthy. That's
Absolutely.
what is very important for me. And
Yeah.
the other things is like these things are harmful,
Mm.
but why the government doesn't make restriction for this? That it's
Oh.
a kind of sweet poison, and it's
That is
more
the
worse
problem.
than.
See, that is the problem. Government may have FDA regulations and all those things, but then they also have the lobbyists who go and pay from the food industry, restaurant industry, and all those people. make their products come to the front of the shopping complex. And then food industry as a whole is a big lobbyist, right? So it's a big problem. That's why we got to have the awareness at the consumer level, at the household
Right.
level. Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yes, and I was just thinking
Hmm.
it would be more better like if someone someone give a birth to the baby, and
Yeah,
when the baby becomes 2 years, maybe 3 years, and up to that, when it's the time to bring him to school,
yeah,
and in the school, the government should make a law that when you bring your kid to the school, first you need to bring a certificate before it's the school time for the kid. During these 2 3 years, you need to study, like make a certificate about nutrition, that how to deal, how to give, what to give to the children, how to behave with children, how to grow them healthy, how to keep their mentally health. Like this kind of restriction, it would be very good for the kids, because
yeah.
I see many kids are going to be unhealthy because of their
Oh, yeah.
parents, because they don't know what to give
Yeah.
in the food, and how to deal them healthy,
I
that they grow
mean, there are so
happy.
many factors are there, Jamil. Socioeconomic, literacy, gender, race, so many things there. But the government
Right.
asks schools to get the at least the immunization records and also school physicals by the physicians. But then they don't have the deeper understanding about all these lifestyles, which is really true, and that's where it is not reimbursed. You see, so they kind of reimburse if somebody gets diabetes and they go into coma, they will pay thousands of dollars for a one night stay, a diabetic ketoacidosis, right? But then if I spend 2 3 hours for educating about diet and lifestyle, and all, they pay $60. So that healthcare system also is kind of, incentives are pretty lopsided. That's why we are saying not the illness oriented, but the wellness oriented health systems are needed right from the house to community to hospitals to government. All these people should be oriented, like what you are talking about. They should have the awareness, all the people, that we should be
I
doing
think
this. Yeah,
my thinking is like bringing before giving a birth to the kid.
yeah,
Okay, you gave a birth to the kid, but after giving a birth to the kid, it should be a compulsory for the parents to study, and at least a 6 month or maybe 2 month certificate, that I know how to deal, how to give them, and what not to give them, and how to keep them,
yeah,
like a kind of caring certificate, nutrition certificate. And I think it's because I see like in the world that mostly people are kind of they are sick because they don't have awareness of these things.
yeah.
And the kids, I see myself that they in front of my eyes, they are kids. When they become 16 years, they are not teenagers. They directly become men. Like
Yeah.
their physics goes very out of shape, and they
No,
don't move like
even 10-year-old,
children.
Jamel, 10-year-old becoming obese these days. So I've seen that with my own eyes in my own patients. People bring their children. They are like a 10-year-old. Obesity is really going like anything. That's why this lifestyle management and really educating good lifestyles is very important. I ran a series called Therapeutic Lifestyles for a long time, and very people really, even the educated people, when I question them, they don't have that answer for that. But we will try. We will live with our life like that. We will also advise people. I'm trying to bring in all the data, all the measures that we are learning to the understanding people. But look at our room doesn't get filled as much as other rooms because nobody really puts that much effort into the lifestyle changes. This is very hard, very difficult, but at the same time, they want everything quick, right now, here and now. It is difficult, yeah. But we will try.
Uh, yes, yeah. Actually, I really I'm thinking. I'm not too educated, but I sometimes I feel like when I see the doctors, when I see very highly educated people,
Yeah,
they are unhealthy, but they're just in the same profession, like they are doctors in the
yes,
doctor profession, but they take care of other people, how to be like giving them medicine or something. But
Yeah.
when you see them, they are out of shape. They look very
So
unhealthy. They are
true.
not caring their physique. They are not caring
Yeah.
of their food. Because I've been in many doctors in my country. When
Mm.
I go to the doctor reception, I see them. They are eating samosa. They are eating fried chicken. They are
Yeah.
taking Coca-Cola, big
Yeah.
stomach, and they're very unhealthy. Eyes are swelling, hands are swelling,
Very,
and they
very
are
true.
suffering.
Very true. Even here also in America, I see all the doctors' conference rooms and the executive rooms. They have full of this
Yeah,
carbohydrates,
okay. Yeah.
donuts,
So
and
that,
everything.
that's
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say, that the government should make a kind of restriction for this certificate. The
Yeah.
doctors,
Yeah.
they should control the doctors that what do you eat. Yeah, I mean, like why your body shape is like this? Why you don't look like a doctor?
Very true.
What's the problem? Like what example do you give to the unhealthy people
Yeah.
that when they see you, they should be inspired by you,
Yeah.
not like they think, oh, every world is the same like me,
Yeah.
and they self look like a sick person.
I am
How you can
pretty
make a
I'm
very
pretty aggressive
strong.
with my doctors also. This is why this room docs and burnout, so that people can really understand what I'm talking about, and then come out of the burnout a little bit and be healthy and performing doctors, and then has a longevity in the profession. That's a huge problem we are having now. That's why I put this room every week, so that we can contribute to at least some doctors. Some doctors are listening to me, so hopefully that will increase.
Like I said to you, sir, I think it's like that for the babies, for the mothers, parents. I think it would be better if you agree with me. Like, yeah, it should be like this system.
Yeah,
If you, for example, you say no, it cannot be possible like this, or like for the doctor restriction that they should be healthy looking, or they should eat healthy,
yeah,
and
they
if they
should.
see in the hospital they have a Coca-Cola, they have
Yeah,
sugar,
there's a
they
term.
are
What's
being
called
out of shape. The government should punish them. I think it would
Jamil?
be a great example.
Yeah, there is a term called healer. Heal thyself. First heal yourself, and then you can heal other people. That's a
Yeah,
age-old thing.
but
Yeah,
the doctors learn medicine,
yeah,
not prevent, especially
yeah, yeah.
medicine, which you wait till you get sick and then you take a drug, which is not really how it should be. So,
Yeah,
I mean, I think I agree with you, Jamel, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen. But I'll tell you one way around it that I feel might help in this is that I think that if everyone could use, the heart rate,
yeah,
look at how different foods affect them, they would end up finding that those bad foods increase their heart rate a lot. And so then that way it would be some objective evidence, and they wouldn't have to be told by the government or somebody. They could just see that
yeah,
and see, oh, wow, that my heart rate went up 10 beats a minute just from drinking that. I know that heart rate goes up from stress. That can't be terribly good.
yeah.
Anyway, thanks.
Okay, I think we are.
Yes.
Yeah, we are at the end of this 1 hour. We went over 10 minutes extra. Jamil, we are here 6 o'clock in the evening in my different houses. So you're welcome to come there, and then
Thank
you'll,
you. Thank you.
yeah, you will listen to more of these kind of things, and you will understand the problems much better by it's common sense. It is what you are saying is common sense, but people don't do commonsensical things. That's the problem,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir. I feel really sorry.
yeah.
Like yesterday, no, yeah, not yesterday. Like 4 or 5 days before, I watched a live part of surgery.
Mm.
So I was watching it because they invited some big celebrity that we will show you. The doctor said to him, "We will show you a live heart surgery because he was a heart specialist."
Yeah,
And he bring that celebrity to his hospital, and in hospital then there are screens and live they are showing like how we are doing, we are putting like how we open the walls of the heart like this. But in
Yeah.
front of them there was a sweet tea and also samosas, right? And they were eating.
Yeah, I know that's ridiculous.
And then
Yeah.
the celebrity said, like, you are telling me how to, like
Eat
he said
properly.
in a comedy way to the doctors, like,
Mm.
you are telling me how we do the surgery, and you are giving us samosa fried chicken. I think it doesn't suit in this place. Then the doctor laughed.
Yeah.
The doctor laughed, and in the end, then the celebrity was
That
more
is.
better person than the
Yeah.
doctor. Then the celebrity said in the end, in the
Yeah.
video, he said,
That's.
okay,
Yeah.
tell me what is the cause, like what cause of
You know what?
death.
The processed food is responsible for the chronic diseases. We all know that, but then everybody eats them as though nothing is going to happen to them. But that will happen. So this is a problem, big problem that's going
Yeah,
on. Yeah.
yeah. My meaning is this: like, what example they are giving the audience
Exactly.
who are looking these videos,
Yeah,
that
you
we
are
can
speaking to the
say what
choir
this.
because I go to the hospitals where these things are there and the meetings. I'm the only one who orders a vegetable plate, and rest of them will be eating all sorts of things. It is going. Anyway, we was for today, and then I'll be
Yeah,
back
okay,
again
thank you.
tomorrow.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
I'll be back
Because
here
I
to
think the
Jamali.
way.
Yeah, you want to come tomorrow? Tomorrow it will be 6 o'clock. Okay.
Yeah, I have already followed you, sir. I will
Okay.
see if I see online, sir. I will come and of
Okay.
course I will come. Thank you
Very,
very much, sir.
very good.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye.
Joyce.
Bye.
We will see you again, and then I will give you the information on the summit. Let's see what we can do with that. Okay.
Now, see you later.
Okay. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.
మంచి మాట అన్నాడు అతను మంచి మాట చెప్తున్నాడు కదా దట్ ఈస్ ద ట్రూత్